Good day, everyone. Thank you to the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines, Bureau of Copyright and Related Rights for inviting me to speak with you today. Hi, I am Jan Aliling. I'm a practicing lawyer by profession and a travel photographer by passion. I am one of the founders of a group of travel photographers called the PhotoTouristas. We organize workshops and photography travel tours all over the world for the purpose of teaching people from beginners to professionals celebrate life and the world through photographs. You all have very good and knowledgeable speakers today, and I am fortunate that I have been assigned a few minutes of your time to talk about my travels and adventures as a travel photographer. Let's save the boring stuff for the lawyers, okay? I'm just kidding. The Phototourista's missions include the following: to celebrate life and the world through photographs, to develop eyes that see the good, the beautiful, and the amazing in anything, everything, and everywhere, to show how beautiful the world of others are, in the hope of expanding, understanding, and embracing different cultures, beliefs, and habits for a more inclusive world, and to always stay amazed even with the ordinary. This is the reason why my partner and I, Gigi Guzman, set up the Photoristas Club. While we have other real jobs, being travel photographers allow us a bit of escape from our regular lives, allowing us time to see the world slower, in detail, and from various perspectives. We get to meet new people. We get to see how other people from other places go about their daily lives. We learn about different cultures and different beliefs. We get to immerse with indigenous people and learn about their traditions, as well as the treasures that they keep. The best part of it is that we get to have loads of fun. To be honest, most of the time we get to travel for free. We get to see phenomena that other people take for granted that are just around their corners. We get front seat access to places we only saw before from the postcards and challenge ourselves to do it better. We also wake up to the most amazing mornings. We get to enjoy the sun flirt with the grass, or quietly watch an old man and his dog walk beside the sea, as if we were reading a live picture book of an Ernest Hemingway story. We get to stop by the side of familiar highways to find uncommon experiences. We stay up all night to watch a famous, usually crowded landmark all by its lonesome and spend time with it with ways other people do not get to. Sunsets and sunrise are always beautiful, but we get to see them in different places of the world. The downside of being a travel photographer is that the office aircon often does not work. Sometimes the office gets extremely flooded. Once in a while, a speeding train misses you by a few inches. Or sometimes you get to find out after you've been lying down on crocodile-infested swamps. But as bad as some situations can be, our labandera or laundry girl is the one who always has it worse after all of my photo travels. COVID-19 was very unkind to everyone in general, including us travel photographers. I am also married to a very paranoid doctor, thus my personal quarantine was always what the IATF said, plus 2 levels higher. I was pretty much an explorer stuck at home. So what do I do during the pandemic? I live in a condominium with an unobstructed window. While my body was stuck at home, my camera through my window allowed me to take small adventures as Mother Nature continuously teased me. This is a photograph of star trails. We were always taught in photography basic school that it's impossible to do star trails photo in a city because of the light pollution and pollution itself. The COVID-19 quarantines allowed the air to heal a little bit during 2020, thus allowing me to shoot star trails over the city. Few people have successfully done this. I was able to do this. I was able to do it with various experimentation during the COVID quarantine. And the more important part for me was this shot was taken during my son's birthday. So I get to celebrate various milestones even while I was in quarantine. This was actually during my birthday, during the sunrise of my birthday. So it was God's way of greeting me happy birthday. There was 2020 had actually very harsh thunderstorms around June to August. So I was fortunate enough to be able to catch one. You can just imagine how long I've been staring at my window to be able to catch a live lightning. This is a single shot photograph. This is not a vector. This has not been manipulated. At most, the colors has just been enhanced. But this is an actual shot of that actual lightning. And of course, everybody was saying that COVID will be over in 2021. So this was New Year of 2021, but here we are, still trying to get over it. So there will be a semblance that I will talk about some IPO content other than share with you contents from my Instagram feed. I will discuss some issues I face as a travel photographer. Or as a photographer in general. First is what we call the right-click issue. The ability to have photographs via social media has worked miracles for us photographers to reach more audience. People get to appreciate, to interact with our photographs, to give us feedback. However, it has also made it easier to steal our photographs. By a mere right-click of the mouse, then they can use it for the commercial purpose. We have talked to a lot of photographers who have experienced this and had bad experience about this. There are ways to track it through the internet with various apps, but of course, sometimes they modify it so that they cannot be traced by those apps. So that is one downside or one problem that we face as travel photographers. We also observe that the right of attribution has been diluted with the false reliance on the CTTO acronym, credits to owner. CTTO, yan lang yung nilalagay nila, no? Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not put a specific name in the picture that you borrowed, you are not giving credit to anyone. I have not met who CTTO is, but I would like to use this venue to give you a warning. Mr. CTTO, please stop taking our photographs. No? We also observe that some entities would appropriate our work and bank on the fact that Filipinos are generally not litigious. Mahal magastos. Kasi yung mga abogado niyan, nagmamahal, di ba? And in the event that you try to litigate, they will offer you an insulting amount for a picture you spent versus the cost for travel in your time. No? So we, in PhotoTourista, we go to places that cannot usually be reached by other people. So you can just imagine the transportation costs, the logistical study, the research, for us to get to that place. Then you will just right-click, get our picture. Then when we catch you, you will only offer us 5,000 pesos. So sometimes that's not even enough for our expenses, the overweight bag that we carry just to bring our gear to the places that we travel to. So yeah, that's a very big problem. We are hoping that the Intellectual Property Office or the government can find a way for us photographers to find ways to be able to enforce our rights without it being expensive. Just the way that DTI does it. DTI has made it easier for consumers. We trust in your system. This is also the reason why if you do a research on jurisprudence on photographer rights, there will be almost none, at least in the Philippines. In abroad, there is one or two small issues, but recently the costs to litigate outweighs everything. So I hope that is something that can be resolved. So to end my short time with you, I give some tips, common tips to photographers as to, of course, you try to watermark to identify the photograph as yours and to just be a deterrent. However, I want to clarify that watermarking is not a necessity for you to own the rights, no? As may have been explained or will be explained by the other speakers in this forum, that your copyright exists from the moment that you create it. So going to my second tip based on that, you take behind the scene shots. So if you have a friend, or if you have your phone, take a selfie while you're in the scene, no? So that later on, if it becomes a litigation case or you litigate it or you have to prove it, you can always prove that you were the one who took that shot at that time. Yeah? So of course, right, as much as possible, you don't want to prove it, but you have to be smart enough, no, to protect that right by proving it. Then, number 3 is you always assert your rights. No? This is the problem of us Filipinos. No? We allow ourselves to be abused only because we are so tamad, diba? We are so lazy to enforce our rights. No? There is social media, there is access, there's the IPO will help you. No? Get help. Assert your rights. So there are many lawyers who are willing to help you, or many other people willing to help you. You don't even have to be a lawyer to assert your right. So assert your right. If someone uses it, call them out, because it is harder for them to prove that they made it because, or that they got it in good faith. So there is no such thing as good faith, in my opinion, no? In taking someone's photograph. Because you know that you did not do the work, right? So how can you have, did you have amnesia when you use somebody's work? So always assert your right, no? Because whoever is using your photographs for commercial purpose without your permission is never doing it in good faith. That is my opinion. No? Okay, so thank you very much for listening to me share my photographs, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope inspires you to celebrate life, to travel, to take pictures, to be odd with the ordinary. And feel free to follow me in my Instagram account. It's jan.aliling. I usually post my travel photographs there, but I haven't been traveling for the last 2 years. So you will see my travels within my quarantine space and within Metro Manila. But hopefully we will all be traveling soon next year. Thank you very much and have a great day.